Hello YouTube, my name is Travis and this is Bacon and Backpacking. Here's a preview of what's coming up in today's episode. I found something. Some things don't go according to plan. We literally didn't even make it a half mile before we had to get the rain jacket out. Well, that's a little bit concerning. Welcome back everyone. Today we are in Wildcat Hollow, back in the Wayne National Forest, completely different district. This is in the Athens unit. Got a pretty sweet trail today. I've never been out here before, so I have no idea what's going on today. We're just gonna hike and enjoy. Trail conditions, well, there is rain in the air. It's kind of sprinkling a little bit right now. It's not even bad enough to need to put on a rain jacket yet. I don't know if you can hear that. It's raining. Well, we literally didn't even make it a half mile before we had to get the rain jacket out. But we'll see how the story develops. Stay tuned. It's one of the things I was excited about. I saw there's a whole bunch of pine groves out here. So we're gonna try to hike about 8 to 10 miles today. Find a nice campsite where there's some pines. Maybe see if we can start a fire. Are you alive? Hey. It is alive. So this is looking like it's gonna be the most Ohio trip I've ever had. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take this Gore-Tex off, so I don't start sweating. I'm not kidding you, the second I take my pack off and I unzip the jacket and start taking off the Gore-Tex, starts raining. So I put the jacket back on, go to put my pack on, stops raining. And so as you can see, we have no Gore-Tex on for now. So there's a whole bunch of campsites out here. I mean, there's a campsite every quarter to at the most half mile, and a lot of them have like these little bushcrafty, benches and stuff like this. This one's about 2.5 miles in. If it wasn't for the fact that I wanted to cover a whole bunch more ground today, that bench right there looks pretty tempting. Springtime in Ohio. Well, hi there. So there's this abandoned house right off the trail. I just walked like 100 feet past the trail. I really want to go in there and check it out, but I don't know if it's private property, and I'm not taking that risk. Just getting a real quick snack. Don't get these. They taste good, but super hard to chew. Takes forever. And then I have a trail superfood. It has everything you need in it, like sugar. Well, that's a little bit concerning. I walked about 200 or 300 feet past the trail, so we're off the trail right now. I'm gonna try to sneak in here and check out some of these old buildings real quick. There's a lot more. Isn't that cool? So we stopped to gather a resource real quick. There's a whole bunch of red pines through here, and whenever a branch dies or the tree dies, all of that resin starts coming back towards the trunk. So where a branch meets like the trunk, or where a smaller branch meets a bigger branch, you're gonna have this. I don't know if you can see that. See that orange color? I can even feel it. It smells like turpentine. This is fatwood, okay? We're gonna make some, we're gonna baton this and split it in half. When we get to camp, we're gonna scrape off some shavings, because I have a feeling with as wet as everything is, you know, it's gonna be not fun making a fire again. So I'm gonna bring this with me and use this to help start the fire later. Tell you what, today's not a great recording day. I mean, it's like 4:15 and it's looking pretty dark down here in the woods. I mean, we just had daylight savings too. I mean, it's not supposed to get dark until 7:30, but everything's just kind of gloomy today. Man, this is a hill. But we're coming up on our water cache. We're gonna cross Chapel Hill Road within the next mile here, and pick up the water that I stashed. And then within the next hour after that, I'm going to find a nice campsite, and that's where we're gonna call home. Oh, YouTube, it is just blowdown city out here on this trail. Oh man, I mean, there's been 40 trees of significance down over the trail, and then, I mean, dozens and dozens of little stuff, you know, like this. That's like a, you know, just a little bit of an inconvenience. Oh, if I can get my leg over there. I've never seen, you know, this poorly, as you can hear, this poorly maintained of a trail. I hid my hid my water in here under some leaves. There she is. I got another one. All right, well, I'm gonna get this stuff in the pack and we're gonna keep going, cover another mile or two, and as soon as we find a good campsite, we're done. I'd like to get another mile and a half in today, but I think if we come up on a decent campsite here, I'm just gonna post up, get the hammock and the tarp up and everything, just so I don't have to bother setting up in the rain. So stay tuned, we'll see what happens. All right guys, I'm super excited because 5 minutes after that last clip, I found a nice pine forest campsite, which is my favorite. Now, there's a really big dead tree right there, and it is windy today. Here's my fire ring and a little bench. Here's what's super cool about this campsite. There's a freaking pond down here. I wish I would have known this. I'd have brought a little fishing rod or something, but that's super cool. There's a pond right there. So I think what we're gonna do is move the hammock probably over here, away from that big dead tree over there. So we're gonna put it someplace over here. All right, gather around everyone. There's not going to be a fireside chat tonight. There's going to be this disappointing log side chat tonight. Some things don't go according to plan. For the astute observers among you, I am not at the campsite that I recorded earlier, which is a shame. That campsite was super cool. And yeah, it would have been easy to get a fire going, chill. We had plenty of time. I think we got into the campsite around like 6. So we would have like 2 hours, of relative daylight. So I was super excited about it, and we had a pond. While I was setting up my hammock, which was a pain because the wind started gusting about 25 to 30 miles an hour. While I was setting up my hammock, I kept hearing like this almost like a tapping sound. And I couldn't figure out like where it was at or, what it was or anything like that. So I just kind of ignored it. And, I had everything all set up except for I was tying off my last door on the tarp, and I was standing, next to that tree on that side, and I felt something through my foot. And I realized I also heard that like tap. So then, I got real quiet, the wind's blowing, tap, and I feel the vibration through my foot. That freaking tree was what was doing that. Yeah, for whatever reason, that root system, I didn't feel safe. That tree was making noises and the ground was moving. So we packed everything up, tore everything down, packed up, got rained on a little bit, hiked another mile in desperation because it was starting to get a little bit dark. I'm sure it looks a lot lighter to you guys on the video, but it's after sunset right now. There was nothing in the forecast about 25, 30 mile an hour winds, but here we are. To be honest with you, I'm like 9.5 miles into like a 15.5 mile hike. I was thinking while I was walking to this campsite, I was like, I might have to hike out of here. It seems like the wind for the most part has died down because it was sustained for like 45 minutes up there, probably at like between 20 to 30 miles an hour. And I'm like, this isn't good. Yeah, like I said, sometimes things just don't go according to plan, and it is what it is. And here we are. So, it's already after sunset, too late for me to bother with a fire. I'm too tired. It's sprinkling right now. And, it just is what it is. And hopefully we have a much better day tomorrow than what our experience was today. A couple other things I want to throw out there, to be honest with you. This is probably the first time I've ever said this. I've been, backpacking in Ohio for about 3 years. And this is the first time I think I can say this. I didn't really have that much fun today. I bet I passed 50 or 60 trees that had fallen on the trail. And I don't know how many hundreds of, branches and, you know, other things that are, you know, were smaller debris. It looks like, you know, the Forestry Service hasn't managed this trail in, you know, it looks like a year. A whole bunch of mud. I mean, as you can tell, I didn't fall down. This is just from hiking. It was very muddy. You know, rain off and on, and you know, just a ton of blowdowns. I feel like I walked an extra half a mile or a mile today just walking around blowdowns and getting back on the trail. So, I mean, overall, this so far is probably the worst backpacking experience I've had. But, you know, you go out enough, that's going to happen. So, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but if I'm going to be on YouTube, you know, I think this is the type of stuff that, you know, people should, you know, share as well. Not all the time do things go according to plan. Sometimes you have to improvise. Sometimes stuff sucks, you know. It's just the way it is. But here we are. So I'm going to eat this food, and I'm probably just done for the night. I'm probably going to go lay in the hammock for what that's worth for the next, like, 11 hours or something. So I think that's the plan. Good morning, everybody. Well, we survived. Rained pretty much all night. Some pretty good wind gusts, but nothing too horrible. So, for a couple of people asking questions about my tarp setup, so this tarp has like this built-in ridge line on it, like the top of it's reinforced, okay? And then you've got these little rings on each end. So I don't have paracord running the full length of this. It just attaches to each end. I use a taut line hitch to tension this back and forth, and then that's just a bowline or a bowline, bow line, however you want to pronounce it. But I just run the paracord through that bowline, attach it to the tree, taut line hitch, and then I have adjustable tension on both ends. So for my doors, same thing, bowline, taut line hitch, and then I have the carabiner. It's going to be hard to do with one hand probably, but this way I can, I can't get it with one hand, but you get the point. That way I can open doors if I want to. This is like the most simple setup in the world, guys. So again, my guy line is just paracord. This is a bowline, and it's attached, you know, to the grommet on the tarp. And what I'll do is I'll just wrap that cordage around my stake down here, and then pass this back through the grommet. And this makes it super easy to tighten down with hardly any pressure at all, because now you have like a 3-to-1 pulley right there. And then all I would do is just take like a half hitch or something like that. Boom. And funny thing, I actually, probably up to 30-mile-an-hour winds last night, I left these with just a half hitch in them, because it's pulling like back onto itself, so it's probably not going to come undone. But if you don't trust that, that's how easy it is to put in another one. All right, everybody, we are now Oscar Mike. Going to play a fun little game called Find the Trail, because I came in last night when it was dark, and I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I think it's this way. We get about 6 miles to cover this morning to get back to the car, so happy hiking. But we left camp 10 minutes ago. Literally 10 minutes ago, and this is like the 6th blowdown. I mean, this whole trip has been, I think the longest I've gone without a blowdown is maybe 10 minutes at the longest. A lot of times like this, it's one, you know, every single minute. And this is a mess. I just want to show you guys so you can believe me. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but this is about a minute and a half after the last 2 blowdowns I showed you. Okay. And then here's a whole maze. But that's the thing, is there's no evidence that any of these blowdowns have been solved within like the last year or maybe even longer. So I feel like these things have just been piling up for probably 12 to 24 months. And nobody's taking care of it. Happy birthday. Man, I wish somebody would take me to the woods for my birthday. So, I've given up on making any sort of decent progress today. You know, I feel like this video is not going to be great, and that's okay, because this isn't meant, you know, to be a, you know, cinematic type of experience. Do you know what I mean? I'm not just looking at like the greatest production quality and trying to make like a movie out of it. I mainly just have this channel to share experiences, and you know, I'm on my own for most of these things, so it's cool, you know, for other people to be able to see it and access it even though they weren't here. So we have reached our first major water crossing of the trip. Right there, you probably can't see because of the reflection of the sky, but that's about 2 feet deep. So I think we can make our way down here a little ways and find a spot that's a little bit more passable. Yeah, I can go across right here. Well, here's a nice little view. Really the only one of the hike. That's private property over there. You can see the property lines right there. I just stopped for the last time to get one more snack. Got about 2 miles or so left, so we're gonna finish this thing up. Well, someone put up a dam. It's probably 2.5 feet deep right here, so let's try to make our way across, shall we? Jeez, dude. That's a big one. He's working on a couple others too, man. Big pond down here. It's got some serious beavers in it. Well, guys, it took 14 miles and some change, but we finally got some sunshine. You know, 24 hours later, sun is finally peeking through. So that's gonna boost the morale for the last mile and a half here. I'm going to go ahead and do my outro right now while I'm walking back to the car this last mile. I didn't have, the greatest experience, and some of that was luck. Having to change campsites. That's something that, isn't going to happen to you on every trip. It's the first time it's ever happened to me in my life. So I can't count that against the trail. The blowdowns, though, guys, there were 100 major tree blowdowns on this trail. Okay, and I get it to some level, but it looks like nobody's even made an effort to maintain this trail for over a year. There's also a 2-mile stretch where the trail is overgrown with thorns. Those things haven't even really started growing that much yet. Another 4 to 6 weeks, when that multifloral rose explodes into growth, there's going to be 2 miles of this trail that's almost impassable. Muddiest trail I've been on this year, and I've been out in similar conditions. So some of it is the time of the year, but some of it is the trail. And it's only going to get worse in the next 6 weeks. So it's going to be a muddy swamp out here. Now, moving on to the pros, there are some areas of the hike that are very beautiful. There's a couple of very pretty pine forests. There's a pretty cool pond with a bunch of beaver activity. Some of the ridge walks like this are pretty cool, especially now that we've got some sunshine, right? See that pretty blue sky in the background, sunshine coming through the trees. So some of it is very pretty. I'm gonna rate my experience like a 5 out of 10. Now, I think if the Forestry Service gets out here and they clean up some of these blowdowns and they knock back some of the, very, very thick multifloral rose, I think I'd maybe give this place a 6.5. Okay? It's definitely not my favorite trail, but it's not horrible. I just happen to have a not great experience on my trip. Okay? Maybe when the weather gets nice here, they're gonna come out, they're gonna clean up some of these blowdowns or something. I don't know. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna write this place off. I think I wanna come back in the fall and, give them opportunity to clean up some of this mess and, see it whenever the leaves are pretty and, the colors are changing and stuff like that. And give this thing another shot and see what it's like that time of the year. Well, I think that's about going to wrap it up, everybody. So do me a favor, if you like the video, go ahead and leave a like. If you really like the video, go ahead and subscribe. Feel free to check out my channel. I have a backpacking playlist of all of my trips that I've recorded. Some of them went a lot more smoothly than than this one did. I've got a ton of trips planned this year. My channel's not going anywhere. I'm going to be putting out a video every single week, barring some sort of catastrophe. But, this is something I'm taking seriously, and I plan on doing this for a very long time. So if you guys have any feedback, leave it in the comments below. Like I said, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I found something. So I found a dog. I was about 10 minutes away from the trailhead and I hit a state route and I'm like, what the heck is that? It looked like a dog's head. She was laying down on the side of the road. And so I turned around, stopped, came back to get her. Picked her up, put her in the car. She came right to me. She had a collar on, but no tags. I didn't have any cell service, so I couldn't look up any local phone numbers and call anybody. So I flagged down a car, and I got lucky. The driver said she lived about 2 miles down the road. Seemed like a really nice lady. Had a teenage daughter with her, and they said they were going to take her. give her a bath because she smelled pretty bad. I think she's been out for a while. Gave her a bath. Well, they're going to give her a bath. They're going to feed her. It's a really small community, so she said she was going to put up a flyer at the gas station. Not a gas station, the gas station. So that's good because there's a reasonable chance, being a small community like that, they'll, find the owner. She said she was also going to post on the community Facebook page and, send a couple other things out. And the daughter was already asking, hey, if we can't find the owner, can we keep her? And, the mom was kind of reluctantly saying yes, I think. So I think either way, she's going to have a home. I live 3.5 hours away from where I found that dog, so I think it was the right thing to do to drop it off with a local. And like I said, the woman seemed really nice. They were all petting all over the dog and everything, even though she stunk real bad, and seemed like really nice people. So I think we're gonna have a happy ending.